What's up, Jacoby Book Club? Now, welcome to the season finale. I said the season finale of LL Cool J's book. I make my own rules with the editor, Karen Hunter. We didn't get through this book in 4 fucking days. I am so excited. And thank everybody for the views. I'm going to tell everybody else what the next book is at the end of this video. All right, let's continue. I'm sitting in a stall at this nightclub, the Outrage in Manhattan. I normally don't go to the bathroom in public restaurants, but I really had to go. I'm just sitting there thinking, and I see this hand come from underneath the stall door with a napkin and pen in it. On the other side of the door, I hear, "Yo, LL, you think you can sign this for my babe? She's a big fan of yours." I'm saying to myself, you gotta be kidding me. But I signed it and gave it back to him like I had nothing else better to do. That isn't usual for me. Wherever I go, I'm bombarded with autograph seekers. It ain't strange. It ain't strange because I've been a rapper for 13 years? But it wasn't until the television show In the House that people had started really going bananas. I'm thankful, though, I have to give my supporters the ultimate respect and love, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in the position to support my family the way I do. I realized that if I'm gonna have the success, the fame, and the wealth, I must give back. That comes with territory. And that's the truth. I don't think people should be on a platform not giving back. Celebrities, anybody that got the money, I even give back to homeless people. You should give back. We're moving forward. He said he met Oprah Winfrey. He met a lot of people. But he do say something about one person. There's another radio disc jock in New York, though, named Wendy Williams, who is not as funny. This is before Wendy Williams had a show. She had a radio show. I think she abuses her privileges. She's a young lady who did well, and somewhere along the way she just sold herself for her position. She had must decided she wasn't going to care about anything but the ratings of her show, which happens to be the #1 afternoon drive show in the city. I bet she would destroy her own family members to stay there. I feel like every African American entertainment, even for that matter, every human being is family. We're all generating a certain amount of money. We all working towards taking care of ourselves and our children. It's a tight group. And this is the thing, a lot of celebrities said that Wendy Williams was more harder when she was on the radio back in the day. They said that she was a little softer when she was on her talk show, but a lot of celebrities have said that was around in that time. Hold on. A lot of celebrities said that Wendy Williams was harder back in the day on radio. Wendy Williams, sometimes I liked her when she was on TV, sometimes I did not. Some things I feel like you should not say about people. It can be, sometimes she was funny, but then that bitch was mean. And I know y'all gonna be mad at me. She got dementia, that woman. I don't think she has. Anyways, I'm not even gonna say that. What Wendy Williams does is not about privacy or journalism. A journalist can report something about a person publicly without degrading that person. Criticism can be public too, but it's not like Wendy, who's on her show giving 14, 15, and 16-year-old girls. But it's not like Wendy, who's on her show, giving constructive criticism. I feel she's manipulating the minds of 14, 15, and 16-year-old girls. Her example shows that it's really cool. Her example shows that it's really cool to gossip and talk about other people, but I feel it's dangerous, especially in this violent society. Damn, he going in on Wendy. A little girl who thinks she wants to be like Wendy Williams and goes and gossips in her school can't hide behind the ivory and towers of a radio station. Damn, LL Cool J in this book. Now, mind you, don't be mad because this book was written in 1997. He going in on Wendy Williams. She could be in a world of trouble if she talks about someone who is dangerous or hangs with dangerous people. She can get confronted or worse. I'm concerned with the fact that Wendy Williams is not a positive role model for kids than I'm about the fact that she gossips. And not only does it seem like though she makes it okay for kids to gossip and degrade each other, but I also feel like she promotes self-hatred. You know what? You know what? I don't think Wendy LL. Now I know this was written in 1997, but I don't. Wendy Williams did not correct gossip and shit. That's been around since probably Jesus' time. They shouldn't hate themselves for having hips, or for being heavy set, or for not being 115 pounds. A lot of them can't afford liposuction like Wendy Williams. Damn! LL Cool J went in on Wendy Williams in this book. He said, and I quote, LL Cool J went in on Wendy Williams. He said, I don't think little girls growing up in the ghetto need to hear that. I'm gonna go back. I don't feel like little girls growing up in the ghetto need to hear that or feel like they should hate themselves or hate the way they look. They shouldn't hate themselves for having hips or being heavy set or for not being 115 pounds. A lot of them can't afford liposuction like Wendy Williams. That man, oh, they hated Wendy Williams back then. They hated this woman. And many of them don't need it. Maybe Wendy didn't need it either. I'm not gonna go down on someone for having plastic surgery, LL, but you just did. You never bad. To each his own. What you do with your body is your choice, but I don't promote it to young girls. Let's move on. He said there is a lot of responsibility being in the public eye. You cannot do and say things that you might normally do. And I thank God I have changed to a point where I really don't even want to say or do negative things. I have children who I respect enough to be a good role model and have fans who deserve my best. I truly try to give it. So he talks about in the house. I'm trying to find something in here. That, So then he starts talking about Tupac and Biggie and Suge Knight. Pause. All right, this is something. He talks about Biggie seemed he was in the process of making a transition away from the lifestyle, though. He was ready to move on and experience something else. It's a shame he never got that opportunity. Rest in peace, Big. Same goes for Tupac. Ironically, the last time I saw him was at the Soul Train Music Awards the year before. We never had much conversation, and I never hung out with him. But I'll see him and I say, what's up? On this night, he was with Suge Knight. He talking about Tupac. Walking through the crowd in camouflage gear and bulletproof vest, expressing himself in a Tupac-ish manner. He was upset because he had been slated to perform, but at the last minute it was canceled by show's producers. I was hosting and I could see all the commotion from the stage. The show had just ended as he came up to the stage and reached for the mic. Yo, give me that for a minute, L. He said he wanted to talk to the people, but they were shutting down everything and the mic was off. So I took it back from him. You just have to take the mic back. You just had to take the mic back, didn't you? He said, Yo, B, that joint on. Yo, B, that joint ain't on. I told him. He said, you don't show me no love. I show a lot of love. I said, I just gave you a shout out on my record, Hip Hop on Mr. Smith. Didn't you hear it? He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, that's true. You're young and talented. You need to do your thing. And you need to do your thing, B. I was being honest. I thought he was really gifted. I looked at the death of him and Biggie, and I wonder where I would if I hadn't calmed down when I did before all this shit. My thing about Tupac, and I'm gonna just say this. Everybody knows about the East Coast West Coast feud for rap. I don't. LL Cool J really, doesn't seem like he was a part of it, even though he was from the East Coast. But what LL Cool J was telling Tupac was like, look, you need to calm the fuck down. The problem with Tupac was he wanted to be a gangbanger. And I don't even think that makes sense. How the fuck you want to be a rapper and a gangbanger? Anyways. Alright. Because we got to move on. The finale, Power of God. Both Billy. His eyes were bright with power. It was the most fascinating thing I had ever seen in another person's eyes. I guess the mark of power. I'm standing there next to the President of the United States, taking a picture at the American Coat signing in Washington, D.C., and I'm thinking, I have never seen real power until now. There was a current that ran through him. I guess there's something about being spiritual picked of one of the leaders of the world. So, at the time, LL Cool J, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton was in the White House. They invited him over to talk to him. And because he wanted him to read it. And it was Bill Clinton's inauguration second. He said he performed at his first and at his second. Bill Clinton loved him. He said Jimmy Carter was there. And rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. I'm just trying to get through the book. LL Cool J says that at the time he worked with Vicam programs for the youth. I helped send more than out. He says that at the time he sends more than 100 kids out has sent more than 100 kids out for summer programs, getting them away from it. He said, I also have programs that deal with issues like teen pregnancy, AIDS, and drugs. AIDS was a big thing back then. They got a cure for that shit. We're not done. Listen, I rushed. He don't talk about, we're going to leave that alone. You know what I mean? 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 Because we got to go on to the next book. I'm trying to find because I'm trying to find something. He gives all these acknowledgments. I'm trying to see if his what do you call that? His editor, Karen Hunter, said some shit in here about LL. He gives his acknowledgments to his kids, to a lot of people in the industry. And he says, hold on.